Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to try to start doing a few more tutorials dealing with our equipment. And on this one I have a Peavey Profex II, and I'm going to show you today how you can take settings that are in bank A and move them over into bank B. And to do that, you can, when you get them into bank B, you can actually edit those and change the settings. In other words, you can go in and take one of these stock settings and change the bass, the reverb settings, the delay times, but you can't do that in bank A. And you'll just have to kind of bear with me. I'm going to have to do some camera angles and actually move the camera on the tripod a little bit, so there might be a little bit of jittery motion, but like I said, I don't have a professional studio set up here, so we'll just have to do that. So let's go ahead and start. The reason for that is that I find that some of these settings have a lot of delay on them, and they don't work well in the studio and sometimes in certain rooms. So this gives you an opportunity to edit those. So we're looking here at our stock settings in bank A, and what I mean by bank A, and I'll zoom in on that, is that right here you see the flashing, it's on A, and then you can scroll these with your data knob. There's like 1, 2, and etc. We see that they're in bank A all the way to 0. Okay, so let's look now at changing that. Let's say, for instance, I want to move this A0 over to bank B so I can edit it. And also, as you look here and underneath here, you'll notice that what I'm talking about, the settings, you have the bass, chorus, delay, reverb. So if we try to edit these in this bank right here, we can't do that. They're preset and they're saved. So let's go to, we notice I'm going to take the data knob, which is right here, and I'm going to scroll it counterclockwise, and that's going to get us over to the bank B. Now I've already moved some of these over here, and a lot of these in this bank B on my particular model are just, for lack of a better word, are useless. Some of them are just kind of crazy sounding things. So let's look at this now. Okay, I want to take, let's say I want to replace this one right here. We're in bank B. I took my data knob, scrolled counterclockwise, got to bank B. So I'm going to replace this with that setting on my A bank, that 0A. So what I want to do, and again, you have to kind of bear with me. I'm going to take this toggle. We're going to take the right arrow, which would be this one. We're going to hit it one time. Okay, if you notice that went over here now, this is flashing. I'll go back left arrow. Goes back to that. So I'm going to hit this right arrow one time. Okay, so now I'm fixing to have the capabilities of changing this. Okay, let's look at this again. So now we're in our B bank. I use my data scroll to get over there, and I'm going to replace this setting with one in the A bank. So we look here, we see that it's blinking on the B. So I go over here, I hit this right arrow one time. Now you see that this is blinking, so I have the capability of changing that. So now let's go here with our scroll, which says data, and I'm going to scroll over to the A bank now. Okay, so now I scrolled over and I found the setting in the A bank that I wanted, and it was the 0U0. I'm going to hit the left arrow now. Okay, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to hit the store and I think it's execute, this knob right here. And now I'm going to hit the play button. Okay. Now I can go back over here and look. That U0 from the A bank is now stored in the B bank at 120. Okay, so now I can look now. I can scroll with the data knob. Go back over here to the A bank. I see that A0, U0 is the mighty good. So I moved that over to the B bank by doing that. So let's go back, scroll back over to the B bank and look at that 120. There you go. It's stored now. Okay, so just to run that down one more time, what I did was to move settings from the A bank to the B bank, where I can edit them. You find the settings, the one in the B bank that you don't want. In this case, I use this 120, which was like Ballerina or Cosmos or something. I hit this right arrow one time. That scroll this over. Then I scroll over here with the data, find the one in the B bank that I wanted, and I can go ahead and change it again. I'll use that. Let's go to 16, I think. Well, let's go to, I think this 17 is Lloyd Green. So let's change that now. I want that B bank to have this U16. I hit the left arrow. I hit the store execute, and I hit the play button. Okay, now let's look back over here. Okay, so now that setting is stored in the B bank. Now I can look now back over in the A bank, scroll over, look at that U16. Okay, it's still here. It hasn't changed. You can't get rid of it, or I guess you can, but we're not doing that. It's still here. It's still in the A bank 16, U16 Lloyd. Okay, now if I scroll back over to that 120 in the B bank, there it is, U16. Okay, so now if I wanted to amend these or change them, I have the capability of doing that. So let's look at that now. Let's say we want to change the delay. So let's look over here. So what we're doing, and I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to edit. We want to edit this thing. Okay, so let's look at the screen. I'm going to hit the edit button. Okay, now you notice it come up with the bass. It's like the different, say like a mid bass treble. We have a reverb and we have a delay. Okay, so I said I wanted to mess with a delay on it, so to scroll over there we use the right and left arrow. So I want to get over to the delay. See, it's flashing right here. I use the right arrow. Clicked it over to the guide under the delay. Okay, so what do I want to do here? I want to edit that. So I go back over here, hit the edit button. And if I look back over here, which I have to do with the camera, you'll just have to excuse that. The delay settings come up. Okay, and what I'm going to do, you can go in here and change all these, the mix, the delay times, all that can be changed. But just that's something you can mess with. So just real simple, I want to, right now it's under the type. I use my data knob. I'm going to change this type of delay. So I just scroll it left or right, depending on what I want. See, that's what I'm doing. So I have mono, stereo, and then I have a tapped. So let's say I want tapped. Okay, so I do that, change the setting. I go back over here to store. Okay, because that's what I want to do. I want to store that setting. Okay, that's stored. Now if I want to edit another setting, something else on that chain, I go back to edit. Okay, I look here again. So I still have the delay, which I've already changed. I have a reverb. So let's look at the reverb. Let's change that. Let's go back. Now we need to get this flashing light underneath the reverb to change it. So I go left or right. So I need to go this way. So I would go left. Okay, so now I'm under the reverb setting. So what am I wanting to do? I'm wanting to edit that. I push edit. Look back over here. Okay, showing me the types, size, delay time, the mix. And again, you can go into each one of these and change, you know, the delay times and all that, and just mess with it, see what you like. But just for simplicity, I'm just going to mess with the type. Okay, the flashing signs under the type. To do that, I scroll this data left or right, just looking at it. Right now it's spring, tunnel, plate. Okay, spring, tunnel, plate, room. Alright, let's say I want that now. So I simply come back over here, hit store and execute. And I want to hit play. So I stored and executed what I changed, hit play. That brings me right back into my original setting. I'm out of it. Everything is in this chain here. What I'm calling the chain is the settings under here, and everything I just did is set. Okay, so I hope this will help you. Again, just to reiterate, you go to one of these settings in the B bank that you're not going to use, or I don't use them, like this 119 Opera Suds. Like I said, a lot of these are, to me, they're absolutely useless. If you want to change this, you use, and we'll change another one real quick. You go right arrow. See, that moved it over to underneath the name of the thing. Okay, now I'm going to use my data and find the setting I want in A. And let's use, let's go to 25, which is a setting I use a lot. This crisscross, that's U25. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to put that over to the B bank. I hit left arrow. I hit store and execute. If I look over here, it's been stored. Okay, now let's go back over here, hit play. And I look back here. The B119 now has become this crisscross, which was U25 on the A bank. And I can verify there, check that. Now I can scroll with my data, go to A25. There it is. Okay, so let's go back to B, I think it was 120 now, or 119. Okay, it's in the B bank. Now that it's in the B bank, I can edit this chain here. Okay, I can go through each one of these. I can now hit the edit button. The chain comes up. I can go left and right here to put, you notice these are moving, whatever I want to change, the reverbs, the delays. I think you can even change the order of the chain. Okay, so let's do this one now. I think let's look at this one. We want to edit this one. You go to edit, tells you what kind of filters, mid-range, highs. You can change every one of those can be messed with. Frequency, mid-range, gauge, high, low, type, guitar. And then to change those, once you're under them, you simply use this data button. You go left or right and you can listen to them and mess with them. Then when you get those changes made, you go store, execute. Then if you want to go back into it and look at this thing in the chain, you go edit, edit again, and that brings you back to the chain. This is what we were in. Now I want to look at the chorus. Okay, I go back over here, hit edit. Now the chorus has come up, and I can move under each one of these and change each one of the mixes, and then you do that by using the right and left arrows. Right, left arrow. So I can use my left arrow, go under each one of them. If I want to change the parameters, I use this. So that's plus 100. If I wanted to dial that down, whoops, excuse me, I just use this data. See how it's moving? Okay, and then I change that however I want to. I hit store, execute. That's stored that setting I just did. Now if I wanted to mess with something else in the chain, I go back and hit the edit button 2 times. Hit it one more time, brings me back out. Okay, after I'm content or get what I want, I simply hit the play button, and that settings B119 now, and all the changes I've made are stored. Okay, hope this is pretty straightforward. It's a little confusing, but if you watch the video, I think you'll be able to understand. If you got any questions or anything, just let me know. Appreciate you tuning into our channel. It's Steel Picking, and this is Aaron, and I appreciate you watching the videos.